Hello and welcome to ClearSpeak English. In today's lesson, we are embarking on a comprehensive journey into the heart of language learning. The title of our lesson is Spoken English Mastery: Sentence, Vocabulary, Grammar, Fluency, Pronunciation, and Confidence. We will deconstruct these 6 essential pillars of effective communication, giving you a complete foundation for your speaking skills. So, what is spoken English? At its core, it is not just a collection of rules and words you've memorized from a textbook. It is a practical skill, much like learning to play a musical instrument or a sport. It's about performance, expression, and most importantly, connection. Many learners find themselves in a frustrating position. They can read and write English quite well, but when it's time to speak, they freeze. Why does this happen? The struggle often stems from 3 main areas. First, the fear of making mistakes. We worry about sounding foolish or being misunderstood. Second, a lack of practical application. Knowledge that isn't used becomes dormant. And third, focusing on perfection instead of communication. The goal of speaking isn't to be perfect, it's to be understood. To speak effectively, we must first understand a critical distinction. Spoken English is not the same as written English. This is a fundamental concept that many learners miss. Written English is often formal, with long, complex sentences and sophisticated vocabulary. It's designed to be read and reread. There's time for careful construction and editing. Spoken English, on the other hand, is dynamic and immediate. It's interactive. Sentences are typically shorter and simpler. We use contractions like don't instead of do not, and our vocabulary is more direct and functional. Trying to speak like a book sounds unnatural and is incredibly difficult. Now let's build from the ground up. The absolute foundation of speaking is the sentence. If you cannot form a clear, simple sentence, you cannot have a conversation. It is the single most important skill to master. At its heart, a basic English sentence follows a simple pattern: subject, verb, object. I drink water. She reads a book. They play football. Before you try to build complex ideas, you must have effortless control over this basic structure. Many learners try to run before they can walk. They attempt to use complicated sentence structures they've read in books, and they get lost. Their speech becomes tangled and confusing. The key is to start simple. Practice forming thousands of basic sentences about your life, your day, your thoughts. I am a student. I study engineering. I like my classes. This builds the muscle memory of the language. Once this becomes automatic, you can begin to expand. You can add adjectives, adverbs, and connect simple sentences with conjunctions like and, but, and so. For example, I am a student and I study engineering, but my classes are difficult. You've just connected 3 simple ideas into one clear, more complex thought. Let's delve deeper into expanding your sentences. A great technique is to ask yourself questions about your basic sentence. For example, if your sentence is, I bought a car, you can ask, what kind of car? When did I buy it? Where did I buy it? And why did I buy it? Answering these questions can transform a simple sentence into a much more descriptive one. Yesterday, I bought a new red sports car from a dealership downtown because I needed a more reliable vehicle for work. This method not only makes your speech more interesting, but also practices a wider range of vocabulary and grammar. This step-by-step approach to sentence formation is the bedrock upon which all other speaking skills are built. Master this, and you've won half the battle. Next, let's talk about words. Many learners spend hours memorizing long lists of vocabulary, only to find they can't recall the right word when they need it in a conversation. Why does this happen? It happens because there are 2 types of vocabulary: passive and active. Your passive vocabulary contains all the words you recognize when you read or listen. It can be very large. Your active vocabulary, however, contains the words you can actually use spontaneously in your own speech. For most learners, this is much, much smaller. The goal is to move words from your passive storage into your active toolkit. How do we do this? Not by memorizing lists. The key is context and active use. When you learn a new word, don't just learn its definition, learn it in a phrase or a sentence. For example, instead of just learning the word efficient, learn the phrase, an efficient way to work. Then you must use it. The rule for active vocabulary is simple. Use it or lose it. Create your own sentences with the new word. Say them out loud. Try to use the word in a conversation, even if it's just with yourself. This process forges the mental pathways that make the word available to you when you need it most. Now for grammar. This is a topic that causes a lot of anxiety. Many learners are paralyzed by the fear of making a grammatical mistake. But here is the secret for spoken English. You don't need to know every single grammar rule. You only need a solid, functional understanding of the essentials. For speaking, we focus on grammar for communication, not grammar for an academic exam. So what are the essentials? First, tenses. You must have a clear command of the simple past, present, and future. I worked yesterday. I work today. I will work tomorrow. This covers the vast majority of daily conversations. Second, core sentence structures, which we've already discussed. And third, the small but crucial connecting words, articles like a, an, and the, and prepositions like in, on, at, and for. These are the glue that hold your sentences together. A small grammatical mistake in a clear sentence is far better than a grammatically perfect but confusing mess. Clarity always comes first. Let's move on to fluency. What does it mean to be fluent? It's a common misconception that fluency means speaking very fast. It doesn't. Fluency is about speaking smoothly and continuously, without long, awkward pauses. The biggest barrier to fluency is not your mouth, it's your mind. Specifically, the habit of thinking in your native language and then translating into English in your head before you speak. This translation process is slow, inefficient, and mentally exhausting. It's the reason for those long pauses and the feeling that your speech is stuck. The solution is to train yourself to think directly in English. This might sound intimidating, but you can start small. Begin by narrating your daily life in your head with simple English sentences. I am waking up now. I am brushing my teeth. This coffee is good. As this becomes easier, move on to thinking about your opinions or plans in simple English. The goal is to bypass the translation step. When you receive a question in English, your thought process should also be in English. This is the true key to unlocking smooth, natural fluency. Our next pillar is pronunciation. The goal here is not to lose your accent. Your accent is a part of your identity. The goal is clarity. Can people understand you easily? Clarity in pronunciation comes from three main components. First, individual sounds, or phonemes. Are you distinguishing between the ship and sheep sounds? Mastering these core sounds is essential. Second is word stress. In English, every word with more than one syllable has one stressed syllable. For example, we say photograph, but photographer. Placing the stress on the wrong syllable can make a word very difficult to understand. Third, and perhaps most important, is sentence stress and intonation. This is the music of the language. It's the rhythm and pitch changes that convey meaning and emotion. A flat, robotic delivery is hard to listen to, even if every word is pronounced correctly. Speaking is a physical act. You have to train your mouth, tongue, and lips to make new shapes and movements. Finally, let's talk about confidence. Many people believe they need to get confidence before they can start speaking. This is backwards. Confidence is not something you find, it's something you build. Confidence is the natural result of competence. As you get better at forming sentences, as your active vocabulary grows, as your grammar becomes more reliable, and as your pronunciation becomes clearer, you will naturally feel more confident. It's a step-by-step process. Every time you successfully communicate an idea, no matter how simple, you build a small piece of confidence. Embrace the mindset of a learner. You are going to make mistakes. Mistakes are not failures. They are data that shows you what to work on next. Let go of the need for perfection and focus on the process of improvement. Confidence will follow. So, there you have it, the 6 pillars of spoken English mastery: sentence formation, vocabulary, grammar, fluency, pronunciation, and confidence. Each one is a skill that can be learned and improved with the right methods. Here at ClearSpeak English, our mission is to give you those methods. In our upcoming videos, we will dive deep into each of these areas, providing practical exercises and clear, actionable advice to guide you on your journey. If this structured, foundational approach to learning spoken English resonates with you, I calmly invite you to subscribe to ClearSpeak English and join our community of dedicated learners. Thank you for your time today. I look forward to helping you speak English clearly and confidently.